I could tell you that I've averaged over my last few years 12 to 15 a month. Within 30 to 60 days, I recouped my investment.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
I probably spent over 10K and I recouped it within 30 to 60.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're in for an incredible night. Oh, we're taking it up a notch. I can't believe what I'm seeing right now. Wes and Mike TZ coming off.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the SOC University podcast. I'm your host, Adam Duty. This podcast is dedicated to anybody that wants to be self-made, self-paid while boosting their personal career, brand, or business. So I got a special guest. This is somebody that I've known for a long time. It's Charles. He's going to tell us a little bit about the business that he has. But first, of course, Charles, tell them who you are and what business you actually have.
Hey, so my name is Charles Rogers. We actually are based out of Atlanta. We have a photo booth business. So when I say photo booth, I mean experiences. So what we provide is beyond just pictures, beyond just the memories. It's the experience they get when they come in. It's different types of booths, and it's just an overall game changer. Custom items, whether it's custom backdrops, custom things.
Nice.
We provide the full experience for the customer.
Nice.
So the company is AJR Events.
Okay.
And like I said, we do photo booths, we do DJ services, and we also do with the one and only, of course.
Yep.
And we also do photo booths, and we can kind of get anything. So whatever you want, we're gonna make it happen. I'm not the person to say no. If you tell me you want the world, I'm gonna make sure I can find it, and I'm gonna make sure that we can implement it in a way that makes your event looks amazing. Whether I offer it or not, we're gonna make it happen.
See, I didn't know you did all of that stuff either.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I thought it was just the 360.
Yeah, I dabble in them. I dabble.
Okay.
We've done photography for events. We've had some high-end clients come from out of town, and they wanted photography for 2 days. So we reach out to some of our partners, reach out to people we have working with us, and we create those experiences too for them.
So let's go back to the beginning. Like, what even made you start to even go into that type of business? So
at the time, I was actually getting married. About 5 years ago.
Okay.
And she was like, "Hey, I want a photo booth." So
you got to do it.
No, I didn't. That's the problem.
Didn't. Okay.
They went to a wedding expo. They were looking at wedding expos. They were walking up down the aisles, getting all the flyers and the pricing. She came back and I saw a photo booth, and I said, "Cool." I said, "All right, give me the price." She starts searching. And she comes back like, "Here's a price, $2K." And I'm like, I'm not paying $2K for a photo booth.
Right.
What, $2K?
Right.
And then I thought, I'm like, they out here making $2K for a photo booth?
Right.
So it was like a shocker. Now, I think just because one person charges that, not everyone charges that, but that was the beginning. She looked at it, we said, "Hey," I said, "Well, I can invest in this. I got some money saved up. I can invest in this as a business, use this for what we need it for, but then keep moving forward from there."
Nice.
And I think what really kind of sold it was we bought this big mirror, and it was like this big kind of case. Okay. And these brides love it. It's one of like the best mirrors out there.
Okay.
And I'm trying to think. Within 30 to 60 days, I recouped my investment.
Really?
Yeah. So
wow.
I probably spent over 10K, and I recouped it within 30 to 60.
I hope y'all heard that. 30 to 60?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome. So explain the mirror for people that don't know what a mirror is. Because I think I know, but I'm not sure.
So it's a big, it's like a travel case, a big travel case.
Okay.
And it basically just has a mirror on the front, and when you turn it on, it has a screen behind it, and it's interactive. It's super simple, but just the process of it, people have never seen it. I've been doing events for 5 years, and they say this is my first time seeing it. And you walk up to it, you touch it, it says, "Hey, ready to take a picture?" And it says strike a pose, and it counts you down, and you take a picture. And you can do 1, 2, or 3 pictures. It'll tell you, "Oh my God, were you invited here?" And and it just talks back to you. It creates that kind of experience within the event, and then it'll print your picture. You can touch screen. You can sign it with your hand. You can send text messages, emails from it with the picture. Everything's built right into the mirror, and it's just next. You have props. You just have fun with the experience as a whole.
Okay. I think I might have seen one of those before, but I haven't seen many
Okay.
of them.
I'll shoot you a picture so maybe you can show the crowd and kind of give them ideas.
Okay. Because I think I know what you're talking about. I think like I said, I think I saw those before, but I'm used to seeing like the 360, that one. I know I keep going back to that.
If you haven't seen the 360, like this is the one that pretty much like started.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So,
Okay. That's nice with the colors and all that stuff in there
Yeah.
too as well.
Yeah, that's a frame
that's
right. And so
dope.
this one right here is after my 60-day mark, I realized that I was booking so much that I didn't have. Well, it's weird. Saying booking so much doesn't mean I'm busy 30 days.
Okay.
It means the days that people want it, other people want it.
Got it.
Because you only have so many weekends a month. So you have 4 weekends a month.
Okay.
You know, brides get married maybe Fridays and Saturdays. So now you got a Saturday booked, but now you got 3 other calls, people saying, I want the same thing.
Oh.
So what I
okay.
did then, which probably at the time maybe not the best idea, but it worked. I financed 2 more. So I went from
Okay.
one mirror that costs over 10 to 15
Wow.
to financing 2 mirrors that was 20, 25.
Wow. Okay.
So,
Wow.
so then I had 3 mirrors.
Wow.
And that was first 3 months of business.
So let's go back to that when you recouped your money.
Let's go for it.
So and you correct me if I'm wrong. I'm thinking there's weddings, there's clubs, there's special events. Was there like a target market that you focused on at first? Was
No.
it just the weddings?
It was weddings. It was like, hey, I want to do weddings. And I think, you know, the birthday parties came in there. And when you first start, everything is new. So you don't know what to do.
Right. Right.
I think the area where I focused I focused on Google Ads. So I did paid ads.
Wow.
And at the time, I'm going to say right now, it's not hitting the same way. But at
Okay.
the time, I could run an ad, and I could run 500 to 1,000 in ads and pull a 10K in a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost without question.
We're gonna have to go into that too.
But you can say 8 to 10K, but you know, I focused on that, and it was just weddings because I'm like, hey, I'm getting it for my wedding. Other brides want this. It's
Yeah.
great. But as you get into it, it's like, okay, now you got birthday parties calling you. I want it for the Sweet 16s. I want it for my 40th, 50th birthday. And then you have then I started getting, you know, the parts of companies. Hey, we having a company party. Can you bring it in for that? And then it was, you know, hey, it's this company coming out of town. We're celebrating something. We're going to be at the aquarium. Bring it to the aquarium and take pictures
Really?
for us. Yeah, I've been in the aquarium. I've been in the stadiums. Pretty much any venue in Atlanta I've been in. And
Wow.
so, you know, it was kind of just coming to those areas where, you know, it just ramps up more and more and more, you know. So I've been on rooftops in I'm not Tennessee, Alabama. I done drove all around the place. So, you know, and it was kind of one of those things where it's just, you got to think about it this way. It's somebody's birthday every day. Mm-hmm. Somebody's having a party every day. Mm-hmm. Someone's getting married every day. Mm-hmm. Someone is having a Halloween, Christmas, Thanksgiving events. Every city is having city events. A few weeks ago, Halloween, I donated 3 booths to Henry County. And I took 3 photo booths out, and I just set them out for people to take pictures for 4 hours.
Nice.
And, you know, it cost me, you know, nothing, but the people just had an amazing time out there to do it. So
Absolutely.
And, you know, I think as you get into it, you see opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked with Target. I've worked with Macy's. Last year, I had a contract with BMW.
Wow.
So I think as you go between the different things, I just did an event for Shea Moisture Man, and I just did an event this last week. I'm trying to think, golly, I should know this off the top of my head, with McDonald's and Essence.
Wow.
So you get to these things where you starting to kind of build your clientele.
Okay.
And what I looked at the beginning for weddings,
Yeah.
I don't even look there anymore. I want the big fish.
Yeah, I can see that.
But, you know, it's not always about the big fish. But, you know, because I've realized that by stop doing weddings, and this is game,
yeah.
you stop meeting people who can get you the big stuff. Because if I do a wedding and I meet you, now you work for this company, you be like, man, I saw you and we're having a party. You should see this, look, this guy right here, this text, look at this picture. We should do him. And so now I'm not doing weddings, so I'm missing the opportunity to meet people. And when I was meeting people, especially when it was me, I was conversing. I was out there talking. I was just, you know, I was making those connections.
Yeah.
And I think that stretches a little bit more and more as you then grow, because Now I have employees out there doing it.
Got it.
And as they're doing it, they're not doing the same thing I do. They're not going to have the same conversations I
course.
have. But you know, like I said, the idea of it changes. Last year we did a ton of events for UGA. So yeah, Black alumni, different parts of there. This last year and a half, we've been doing a ton of events for Emory, the medical school.
Yep, Emory Medical. Okay.
So I think, and that's the thing. So it's really just that focus, and like that's my goal now. It's like, you know, I don't mind the weddings, I don't mind the birthday parties, but I tend to say, hey, I don't want to be in the backyard in the sun. And that's just, it's realistic. I mean,
Right.
you know, but you know, it's one of those things.
So that was smart, like you focusing on like the weddings in the beginning. Was that because you felt like that was the most money, or like you said that was the easiest way you can meet people and interact with people? Because in my mind, I'm thinking if you're doing a wedding, you want nice pictures, you're gonna pay money, maybe more than a normal event. In my mind, just because it's a wedding.
And that's exactly what it is.
Okay.
But people are cheap sometimes. Realistically, when
Yeah.
you go shopping, you know what you have in your pocket. I've done sales for many, many years. People know what they have in their pocket, but they don't come to the store and say, hey, I got 10K in the bank. Tell me what I need to buy. They come and be like, man, I didn't get paid to next week. I'm trying to make this work. What can I do?
Yep.
And I think that's the thing that people don't realize. So even when you have the weddings, you know, you have a bride who comes in and I want the glitz and glamour. I've done weddings where they probably spent $200K. They have flowers hanging from the ceiling, you know, all that glitz and glamour.
Yeah.
And then you have weddings that, you know, it could be at the neighborhood bar.
Right.
I've done one at farms. So, you know, not everyone's budget is the same.
Okay.
But that's also what takes you from me having that mirror. And that was a premium product at the same time, too. So then everyone who saw it, you give them a price and it was like, ooh, they kind of scooch back. So then, you know, you rotate and you get something that's more cost effective. And then, you know, and that's what we did. We went to another item that we can say, hey, we can give you the same type of experience, but maybe this will fit in your budget a little bit more.
Okay. Okay. I can see that. Yeah. So along with like that mirror, and did you say that's what you started with?
That's what I started with.
Okay. You started with the mirror, and then what other like products can somebody get if they're going into like?
So we have social booths, kind of small, kind of 4 or 5 piece stackable items. Looks kind of like a ring light. You probably seen them.
Okay. Yep.
You know, some people grab ring lights. I wouldn't suggest it on it, you know, but you know, some people get it because that's all they can afford to begin.
So the ring light is just the ring, and then has the like an iPad or something, or something in the middle. Okay. Correct. And you wouldn't suggest that.
No, I mean you can, but it's presentation is where you buy it from. You have some people out here who may just have an iPad, and you literally put an iPad, because there's some brides on the budget groups out there that say, hey, what do I do to get a photo booth without paying? Okay. And they say, hey, get a ring light from Amazon for $30 and put an iPhone in there or put an iPad in there. Okay. Is that realistic? Yes. Is it realistic for a business? Because if you had a wedding and you pay someone, we'll say $750, and they come with an iPad on a ring light and say cheese.
I'm definitely questioning it.
You're gonna question it, but that time is too late. So it's also a problem where you've already went past that process.
Okay.
So, you know, not saying that the photo booths are a ton more than that. You know, you're gonna have electronics in them. You're gonna have things that light them up. You're gonna have things that make the pictures better. So, you know, there's a process, but that booth may not cost you $10K or $12K. It may only cost you $4 or $5. You may go to Alibaba and you may get it for $1, $2.
Okay.
You may get a real cheap one for $6. You know, so there's different levels of it. So you can start for as cheap as or more expensive as you want. Okay. But at the same time, it's also, I tell people, it's about your practice, because a lot of people, you say, hey, I want to do this, and you know, you go and you buy something, and then you take a picture and you go, this was horrible. Why did it look like this?
It wasn't what I thought it would. Yeah.
Okay, so how did it look at home when you practice?
Yeah.
And the first thing they say is, oh no, I turned it on when I got to my first place. You know, so you know, my thing is, anything can be amazing, especially if you put the work into it. It's your lighting, it's your environment, it's knowing the settings, you know, playing with things. Yep. So if things go wrong, then you know what to do. So I think that's a big part of it. But yeah, so we went from 3 mirrors.
That's dope, man.
And then we added one of our social booths.
Okay.
I'm trying to think back. And then we end up going to an expo. It's an expo every year called Photo Booth Expo.
Okay, and that's
PBX.
here in
Vegas.
It's in Vegas.
It's in Vegas every
Okay.
February.
Okay.
It's the 20th of this year, I believe.
So how did you got invited to that, or you just went?
Once you start going online, you got Facebook groups, you network.
Okay.
So just like anything, you add people on Instagram, you add people on Facebook,
Yeah.
and as you're adding, you start searching, what you bought, and
Yeah.
oh, the mirror booth has a group. So now you add the group. This company software has a group. So now you add the group. And now
about
as they're
that.
going, so now, you got people in there advertising, trying to sell you stuff. We sell, designs.
Yeah.
We sell cameras. We sell this.
Yeah.
And then, hey, you should come out to Vegas because everything you see online, people selling, we have 5,000 booths.
Wow.
With everyone in the world who sells photo booth stuff.
Wow.
It's not small by any
Wow.
means. So, and I think that was one of the biggest things going out there. You get to network. It wasn't what you bought because I probably spent another 20, 30K out there. But it was literally the people I met the first year I went there. Invaluable. I met some people who I still talk to today. I got some people who, Miami, she does an amazing job out there. She kills the market. I met some people in Savannah in South Carolina who are just doing amazing things. And you learn from these people. You learn how they book, how they talk, to people, what their focuses are, and it helps you to realign what your focuses are. So I think that's one of the biggest things, just the connections.
So when you first, and I'm going back a little bit. When you first got the booth, and you said she wanted the photo booth, did she want you to have the business or just the booth?
No, she just want to take pictures.
She just wanted to
She
take
wanted to
pictures.
take pictures.
So what was her like once you were like, okay, I think I'm gonna go forward with this?
She was like,
What
cool.
she was cool with that.
Yeah, she was like, cool. I mean, at the time, my daughter was young, and she was like, I just want to have the opportunity to be able to do things with her when she's
Absolutely.
at school, not have to be at work at 5:00 at night, and I want to be able to stay home with her. And I was still working 9 to 5, so I said,
Right.
that's fine.
Right.
I said, I want you to be able to take her to school, pick her up, and be there to do things, and not have to kill your day with this. So she was okay with it.
Okay. So for the entrepreneur, because there's still a whole bunch more, you got me wanting to ask you a whole bunch.
Let's
of
go with it. Let's go with it.
So for the entrepreneur that, let's just say they had $1,000, like you said, $500 to $1,000, and they wanted to get into this business and just start building, getting the repetition of it to make more money, to invest in bigger stuff, where would
I would say
they
2 to
go?
5,000 first off.
So 2 to 5. Why would you say 2 to 5?
Because if you start with the basics, you're gonna run short really quickly.
Okay.
The biggest thing people do is you buy something, and let's say you bought something cheap offline from China.
Okay.
You spend 1,000.
So let's just say I have 1,000.
Okay,
Walk
you
me
spend
through.
1,000.
Okay.
All right, now you got it. Now you
Where
got
would I
software.
go first? Where would you recommend me to go?
Where would I recommend you to go?
Yeah.
For that price?
Or where could I go for that price?
you're gonna be on Amazon or Alibaba.
Okay.
Realistically.
Okay. Okay.
Anything US made is probably gonna start double that.
Okay.
Double to triple that.
Okay.
And you're gonna have levels to everything you do.
So I have $1,000. I go to Amazon or I go Alibaba, and I could probably buy like the ring light setup that you were saying, or I can buy pretty
real
much
photo booth.
any of them.
Yeah.
A real photo booth. Okay.
Yeah.
But it won't be the best quality
Right.
of it.
I tell people you gotta think about stuff. So as you're new, you're not gonna notice these things.
Yeah.
But things that make a difference to me is how easy is it to set up. Does it have a case? People charge $400 to $500 just for the case it goes in. So, but do I want to walk in with pieces? I'm at your party. Do you want me walking in with a photo booth like this?
Right.
Or you want me to walk in like a boss?
Right.
Open
And roll
up
it.
and then put it together and make it look right. So,
Right.
I think people don't realize is the presentation or the visual is sometimes means more than anything.
Okay.
And if you make it look like it's something that's easy or something that's cheap, then that's the value you're giving.
Got it.
So as you can go out, you can start with 1,000 probably. You can grab you something online, or I'll make one even better. Go on Facebook Marketplace.
Facebook Marketplace. I didn't even think about
There's
that.
always someone selling something.
Okay.
Go on Facebook Marketplace. But then I'm gonna even start off there. You may have to buy a computer going there. So you may need an iPad. You may need a Surface. You may need something to go in there. That's gonna cost you another $400 minimum on
Right.
on there on Marketplace. to another 1,000, depending on where you buy it from, or more.
Okay.
So that 1,000, that's why I say it's gonna run real dry.
Right.
And then what happens?
See what you're saying.
You're gonna say I want software. So I've worked really closely with a company called TouchPix.
Okay.
TouchPix does 360 software, and they also do photo booth software. But then you're gonna go to buy software. You're gonna say, I gotta pay for software. Most time, because the company who sold you photo booth, they didn't care about telling you about the software. They care about selling you a photo booth.
Got it.
But you need something to run the experience.
Right.
So now you got to buy software. So now you're going, okay, I got a photo booth. I'm trying to get customers. So then when someone gonna say, you need to market, and you gonna say, but I don't got no money for that. Which is why I say the start off, you can start as cheap as you want, but you'll quickly realize that, like anything, everything costs money.
Absolutely.
You're gonna have to, you're gonna need it for marketing. Then you'll be like, man, I have a party. They're gonna be like, hey, when you take my picture, are you gonna see this on the back, or are you gonna see just like the wall and people walking by? And you'll be like, oh, I need a backdrop.
Got it.
So I was like, hey, I don't have a backdrop, right? I went on Amazon.
Okay.
Bought the cheapest thing, I'll be honest.
Okay.
I used it for probably less than 30 days, and I upgraded to a $500 setup, for a backdrop.
Okay.
But as you go, you'll realize you need stuff. Then you can say, while they're taking pictures, how is it fun? Oh wait, I need some props.
See, I didn't even think about any of that stuff.
Right. So do I need to go to Amazon? You gonna start with the little sticks with a mustache.
Right, and the glasses and all that stuff.
But then you start going to some props cost $60. Some cost $10, $15 a prop. Some cost, you have glasses that light up. You have wigs, boas, hats. So it's really as deep as your market is, because if I'm going to weddings and maybe I have a lot of farm venues in my area, well, I'm going to focus to those people and get what they would like to see. If I'm doing a lot of high-end weddings, I'm going to have what they like. I might have poppers that pop up confetti and things like that. If I'm doing a New Year's Eve party, now I got to have some New Year's Eve stuff or New Year's Eve props. So I probably have 2,000 props at my house.
Wow.
Birthdays, weddings that cuss, single AF, to weddings that are real, going to be real, like, hey, don't say anything crazy here. So you have real basic stuff. I have alcohol bottle props that may have cost 50 to 100 each. I have, so as you go along, you kind of see what your clientele is. Okay. And then, some people, they get these way outlandish props. I have a ratchet set. And it was going crazy with my 360s. It said, I'm pouring alcohol in my slushies all summer.
Wow. Okay.
But that prop, I know if I'm going to a business, that prop ain't going out of my house. I'm gonna be like, oh.
Right, absolutely.
But it's about knowing your market. I think that's also what people have to learn, though. So it's so many little things you buy. Then you got to go, okay, so what am I at your wedding? And your wedding's about to start, and now my power doesn't work. Did I buy extra pieces to make sure this is going to work? Did I buy extra plugs? Do I have a second booth in the car to make sure that no matter what, this wedding goes on?
Just in case.
Do I have an extra printer? Printers cost $1,000 a pop. They can go $500 to $1,000.
So because you're printing out, you give them the option to do the actual print or virtual?
Yes. So you can do a digital or a print, but that's depending on the event. So I have booths that I can drop off. So you say, I'm having a party, we're gonna be in my house. I'm say, hey, I got this package for you right here. I'm gonna come set it up in the corner. Y'all go take pictures for 4 hours. I'll see you in 4 hours. This is how you work. I go home, I chill, I go have a drink, or maybe I just go to my next event and I have a wedding. After the wedding's wrapped up, I come back and pick this one up. So I have ones I drop off, and those are just digital. I have parties we do that are with prints. We have parties that we do with the mirrors, and then we have parties that we do with the 360s, but those are all digital.
Wow. So I know you said it was cheap, but I'm gonna recap that. If I had $1,000,
and that's my fault, and I shouldn't have said cheap. So let's get away from $1,000.
But no, I'm just saying, and you're being honest. That's why I like you're being honest, right? Like, so if I had that, I would either go to Amazon or Alibaba and then get like a photo booth, you said, and then I would need some type of backdrop. I can get a cheap one from Amazon. Okay. And then I need the software. Okay. And a printer. Yeah. And some type of props and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So, and that's what I say. The cheap market, and I'm gonna kind of back myself up for that because I talk against it so much. I think because people look at the price and they go, anyone can do this. But it's always going to be something you have to buy. It's always going to be a extra cost in there. And like I said, what you get for that cost of what you're paying will also determine your outcome and where you go to.
Absolutely. Okay. So if somebody had, let's just say somebody had 5,000,
Okay.
where would you recommend them to go and get then?
I would recommend them do research. First of all, it's always research.
Okay.
There's at least 10, 15 companies in the U.S. who sells photo booths.
So let me ask you this, since you got all the, I didn't even know all this went in there. Let's just say I own like a small restaurant or like a small bar, and I wanted to get something in there, and it wasn't necessarily like a nightclub at night, but it's just a bar. They can eat, they can have drinks occasionally,
and they want something to enhance their guest experience, take pictures, and be able to share hashtags, things like that.
Yes.
I mean, you could probably buy, and for that situation, you would buy what's called like not a roamer, but they have photo booths where you hold by hand, and I could walk around, take pictures with you, and have fun with you without even being on the stand. But they have the same thing where you can actually mount it to a wall. So I would probably say, one of my clients, hey, let's get this for you. We'll get it mounted to a wall. It'll probably cost you a few thousand. You can mount it up there. We can, set you up there. You get your software and you can run it that way.
Wow. I didn't even know they had all that stuff.
Yeah.
I said, my mind is going all these different directions. I'm like, dang, I didn't even know all that. Because like you said, when you see it, you just see the booth or whatever it is, and you're not really looking at all the extra stuff. Like you said, and then when you really start to get down to it, you're like, dang, there's a lot included with that. Okay, so what would you say what was an amount that you made when you like first started, or whenever, it could be whenever, where you were like, okay, this is serious. Like I can really make this amount of money in this short of time.
Okay, I'm not gonna say it was a lot, but I would say my first 6 months, probably over 40,000.
That's good.
Yeah.
So for a business just starting, that's good because most businesses,
you're not cash flow positive. You're not gonna be able to make up what you're doing. You're putting money out there to put yourself out there.
right?
I mean, I
Well,
would say
that's
like
good.
And like my first year, I think one of my biggest contracts we had the SEC finals, which we worked with them for the last 3 years.
Wow.
So every time they do the finals in December, we're there doing the VIP rooms.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. So 40K. What would you say is like the most you made for like an event?
For one booth, probably around 5.
That's still good, man.
Yeah, I mean, but there's also events where I've made 10 to 15 for multiple booths. So, but
That's good, man.
but again, this market, and what I try to say is this market is big. So where I'm saying this, I've seen people who make 80,000 for 4 hours.
What? So you gotta have. You definitely gotta have multiple ones for that. And what?
I mean, let's say I find Coca-Cola.
Like a festival or
so they're doing a huge event. Well, they say they're doing an event, and they want this whole room to look like a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
And then they want this experience. You do this. They tell you this, and this. Some companies, have a budget for their brands, and part of it is finding what that brand is. Most companies, most of your people you talk to are not going to be that. Most people are going to say, "Hey, I'm having a birthday party. I want them to take pictures."
Right.
And so you're done. You might be in that. Some people start at, and it's nothing. Some people start. Okay, well, I'll charge you $100 an hour. Some people start at $300 an hour.
Right.
Some people start at $500 an hour. It depends where you are in the country.
Right.
So and then we're talking about photo booths, but it really gets as deep as you really want to go based on what you're doing. So the sky's the limit. There is no set price, but it's based off of your customers' needs, and what you offer. I mean, it's first going to start about what you offer and what you want for your services. What's your value?
Right. Okay.
Because I can buy the same booth for $5,000 that you buy for $5,000, but this is a hobby for you because you're still working. So you like, hey, $200, and I'm gonna do the job. and I might charge you $2,000.
Yeah.
And am I saying I'm better than you? No, not at all.
Right.
You might have really good work, but
Right.
it's what you envision yourself as doing. You know,
Absolutely.
and it's also, I know that when I'm looking at a quote for someone, we're looking at, you know, it's basics. It's money. So I know you use a lot of money stuff, right? This is how much my business needs to make off of it. These are my costs for my things. So you first have to know what you're using as far as expensive. Do I have employee costs? Do I have equipment costs? Everything depreciates.
Yeah.
If I'm printing, how much paper am I using? And then you're gonna take, these are my costs. Now this is how much I know I need to make from every single thing. So then this is my price gonna be based off of that. Some people just go, I'm new to a business. I got this for $1,000 off Amazon. I'm good.
Yeah.
I can charge 205 times and I'm paid off.
Correct. I see what you're saying.
Is that a wrong way of thinking? No.
No, right.
But they shouldn't be your end way of thinking.
Right. Right. I can definitely see that. And a lot of times, I mean, you get what you pay for too as well. Like if I know if I had to choose between somebody, like again, $200 or $2,000, in my mind, the $2,000, I'm gonna get way more,
Right.
like way more support. I'm gonna be way more comfortable. And if I'm spending $2,000 too on that, it's probably an event where I need all of that.
Right.
I need it to work.
Now,
and be there.
now I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna just make myself look real stupid right now. I could spend $5,000 today because I think that's what's great for me to start, because I have support. I have 24/7 support behind me. I have things to help me.
Okay.
And then I go back and say, you know what? I can buy a booth for $1,000 now and make that booth make me $10,000 next month, because I know what I'm looking for. I know what it can do. I
Okay.
know if that booth doesn't have enough light, I can supplement the lights and add more.
Right.
I know if it, you
you.
know, I can make that booth what I want to make it, compared to if I'm brand new and I buy something that's not right. Now I'm thinking I have a bad product.
Got it.
But because of the knowledge I have, you can go back. Now, I think I saw somewhere where someone said, you know, if you went, I think like Marv Cuban, it was like, you know, if you went broke, could you be a millionaire again? He was like, within 1 year,
'Cause he
I'll be
knows
back
that
there, because he
information.
knows he has that roadmap. So yeah, so if I bought something cheap now, I know I could make that work and how to make it work.
Yeah.
Could I do that my first day in here? No,
Right.
probably, but no.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So what also would you say is like the biggest thing that people have messed up about that business, or the biggest misconception about that? I know pricing.
Pricing.
Why would you say that?
Knowledge and pricing.
Why would you say that about the pricing? Meaning how much it's going to cost them to get started, or charging, or what they can
Actually,
get for
both.
it.
That's good. That's a good point. Both. So what you can get for it. So I mean, the first thing is setting your value. And I think a lot of people don't set the values. They just want to get out there. It's a get rich quick scheme. Sometimes a pair of J's is good. If I can pay a pair of J's, then I'm doing good, because it's over what I'm making.
Right.
I'm already got my check. My check pays my bills. So this is all extra.
Right.
So it's not a business for everyone. Some people, it's just a side hustle.
Right.
But you have to really know where you want to charge, because also when you do that, now someone calls you and they say, how much is this? And you like, oh, I got you for $250, right? They're like, cool. So then they call around because they're gonna price check no matter how cheap it is, and they're gonna call me and I'm gonna tell them $2K. Why are you charging so much? Is it that I'm charging too much, or is that someone else set an incorrect value for you?
Right.
So now their idea of value is based off of what someone else told them, and generally people call and say, hey, well, can you match this person's price? Well, one, if they were $250, you should probably give them a call back.
Yeah.
Well, they were booked. Of course they were booked. You know, they were $250.
Right. Right.
But these are sometimes, and again, don't take this the wrong way, sometimes the people who, you know, they're new. So, you know, some people, you know, you're going to have problems. You're going to learn. You have learning things. But that's where the knowledge I said come in at. Because we get into businesses, and not just this one, because I've been looking to some other things as well. And we don't do enough research. Research is the key. We don't go in Facebook groups, and we don't scroll back, and we don't see what other people have said. We don't go and see if there's problems with equipment. We don't go and see if there are things that we need to know in this business and how to learn it. So then when we get to saying, hey, I'm going to charge you for a service, you haven't even practiced. You're going somewhere to do something, and you're just like, yeah, it's going to work. And now you're
Absolutely.
blaming everyone else
Right.
for those downfalls, but it was really the time that you really didn't put into learning your craft.
Yeah.
Before I like, and we haven't got to my 360s yet, but before I started my 360s, I literally sat at home for 2 months testing. I've had photo booths for 2 years before that, but I'm in my kitchen, moving my table over. I'm spinning in there, and I'm spinning. My daughter's making 20 videos. I'm getting off of Comcast at night at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm driving an hour home.
Wow.
Set up the booth, do spins, changing the camera, moving how it's supposed to be. And when I got that first call 2 months later, I was ready. I was still scared. I'm like, crap, this is gonna be doing this first party doing it. But I knew how my videos in my mind should look, and I knew exactly how to set up to get that look. To where sometimes I think when we go to do stuff, we don't know what to expect because we didn't really put our effort into that. So,
Absolutely.
photo booths, that, or anything of that matter of fact. But, it goes for photography. People, I've done that before. I first moved to Atlanta. I was like, hey, we should buy a camera. We can do photography.
Yeah, that's
we
crazy.
ordered a camera, but we did it for a while. We
Yeah.
was actually doing good.
No, I'm just saying all the businesses that you're in around that's dope. Like,
Yeah,
for you to
I've
do
always
that.
loved like electronics. I've always loved stuff like that. So I think one thing was, me, I've loved being in nightlife and hanging out. So now I figure like I get to go somewhere where people are having fun. They're enjoying each other's company.
Yeah.
Which is where I like to be anyway. I get to go somewhere and be around other people's memories and music and just hanging out. So I'm doing something that I love to do
Absolutely.
and making sure other people have the memories at the same time.
Wow, that's dope. So what's the support side like? Because you said something about like the software and the support. Is that something that if you're not really aware of that can really hurt you if you're not like, if you have support from either the software or something like that?
Well, I mean, so it goes on a few different folds. The equipment you buy may or may not have support. So you may get it and not know how to put it together. You may get it and not know how to work it. If you buy it from a certain company, then they may say, hey, we have email support. We have phone support. We have 24/7 phone support.
That would be great.
So my mirror, the beautiful thing was a company called Photomaster.
Okay.
They had 24/7 phone support
That's great.
and chat support, and they had they were remote into your computer, and they would work with you, play with you, show you how to
that's
do it.
wonderful.
So I tell you what, my thing about knowledge is when I first got my mirror, she's upstairs asleep. It's 2 a.m. I'm turned on. I'm playing with it. I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm calling them. I'm on the
Dope.
phone with them for an hour at 2 a.m. I'm learning. I'm not calling them Monday through Friday when they're busy.
Right.
I'm not calling them on a Friday night when everyone's out having parties and they need help. I'm calling them on a Tuesday at 2 a.m.
Wow.
because they're sitting there with no calls.
Yeah.
So now they have an hour, 2 hours just to teach me anything I want to learn. And if you take your learning as seriously, once you get to whatever you're doing, it's going to be easy, and that goes with anything.
I hope y'all listening to what this man is saying for real. Dropping major stuff. Okay, so you have the photo booths. You talked about the hand that I forgot what that was called.
roamers.
The roamers. And then, so let's talk about the 360 because that's the first thing that I ever saw. Again, like I saw, and no disrespect to whoever it was, I can't remember, but they make it seem so easy. Oh, just go order this. You go order this, and then it spins around. And then I used to be a ops manager at Amazon.
Okay.
So they had the platform, and then the camera just spins around, and everybody was doing anything on there. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. So that's considered the 360, right?
And it's the easiest thing in the world once you put your effort and practice into it.
Okay.
But it's, again, like anything else, there's so much that can go wrong.
Okay.
So let's say, like, was it 2 years ago? This is 2023. So right before COVID, I went to the expo.
Okay.
And they had them all around. So there's a few companies out there that makes amazing ones, like OrcaView makes an amazing one.
Okay.
They made it, they invented it, and you have other companies there.
Okay.
So, they wanted like 10, 15, like 10K for it, 10, 15.
For one of those?
For one. Wow. So I was like, that's not for me right now. That's not in my price. I want to pay for one thing.
Yeah.
You don't know where it's going to go, and that's the big thing. COVID hit. Right after that, the end of the year is around time with COVID and stuff. So now you got people knocking them off. So you got the Chinas coming in.
Yeah.
And I got a really good deal on one. I was around the 2,000 mark when everyone else selling for 3 to 5, 6. I got one for 2. Well, that's a little bit under, I think.
Wow.
Really good deal we made with a company that I work with a lot right now.
Okay.
I have 6 of them from them right now. So
you have 6 of those.
I have 6 360s. So I bought the one, and I just accumulated over the years. I've done events like I've done events for the mayor. Right when he got inaugurated, I did his inauguration, and I did his actual inauguration dinner afterwards. And we had 3 360s at one, 4 360s at another one.
Wow.
I think as I got it for that price, and I said I practiced. It was just putting that effort in. And then someone called me one day. They was like, "Hey, I have a birthday party, and it's gonna be downtown by the stadium, by the Falcon Stadium." I'm like, "Okay, cool, we'll be there." And, scared of my life, but within the first day, made that video, and when you hear the voice, like when you're doing photo booths, when you hear the girl get her picture, she goes, "Oh," They did the video, they saw it, they was like, "Ah!" So right before that, Cardi B had her birthday party.
Okay.
And she had a 360. And that's what sparked the revolution.
Got it. Okay.
So then from there, everyone had it. Like I said, you cut grass, you bought a 360. You're a plumber, you bought a 360.
Yeah, for
everyone bought a 360. So
Yeah.
you'll see them everywhere, and you'll see them. Some people are 50 an hour.
Yeah.
Some people are 400 an hour. Some people are 1,000 an hour. It depends on what your market is. Some people, are just doing backyard parties. Some people are focused on, I want to focus on weddings. So there's a market for everyone. It's like bread in the store.
Yep.
You can go to the store and it's 30 different loaves of bread,
Yep.
30 different names. Everyone's a different price, but they all have a market.
Absolutely.
Am I saying you should charge 50 an hour? No.
Oh no!
I want you to go home with some money in your pocket.
I definitely wouldn't charge them 50 an hour.
But can you? Is it a viable business? Yes.
Okay. So what would you say like the average or like the average price that those can make? I'm not saying what you charge. You don't have to say that. But what would you say like the average that like the floater? Have you said, and the photo booth or the 360
Well, they're all
or
gonna be
the
different.
mirror?
They're all gonna be different.
So
everyone has a different value.
So yours, what do you think?
I mean, I have a mirror that is 2,000 for 4 hours.
Dope.
I have a mirror
Nice.
that's probably closer to $1,450 for 4 hours. I have a social booth that I probably can get you. Like I said, I drop it off. I
Yeah.
could probably get you around 5. Wow. Just to drop it off, leave it for your party. Have a great day.
So why don't a lot of people use those instead like that, where you just drop it off, or that more of a risk?
I mean, everything's a risk,
Right.
but it's risk reward.
Okay.
Depending on what you pay for, but you got to understand what you're paying for. Everyone goes, well, someone's going to steal it. Well, after how many parties have you done if someone stole it? If I spent $3,000 on this and I left it for 10, if I left it for 30 parties and I've made, if someone steals and I got to pay $3,000 again, it's great.
Right.
I've had mine since, but my first one I've had since before COVID. Still working, nothing's ever broken.
Wow.
So that that tells you. And now, like right before Christmas, I actually purchased about 10 more. So I have about 12 booths that I can take and just leave at houses, parties, weddings, that it's just for y'all to have for a party, enjoy, take pictures, take gifts. I can do background removal. I can do a lot of stuff.
Wow.
And you can do it all without me being there. And I'll come back and pack it up and say, hey, I'm gonna take care of you, give everything to you.
That's crazy.
But there's no median price. Every service is different. That's the problem. But I would say 150 to 250 an hour is where you want to be at for most things.
Okay, 150 to 250.
People forget about gas. People forget about the things you have to pay for, the things you buy off of Amazon real quick just so you have it.
Yeah.
The props you spend $80 on to get next day to you, so you have bar mitzvah props, and now you
Right.
spend $80 And so that comes out of what you charge people. So either you're going to charge them to get those things, or you're going to say it's part of my package, but now you got to come up with it.
Got it. Okay, they got to come up with that.
And there's some things where I say, hey, if I'm getting hired by this huge company and they say I want custom props with my name on it, well, this is how much it's going to cost.
Right.
But if you say, hey, I'm having a wedding and I want wedding props, then if that's something I say comes in my package, then that's something I'm responsible for getting. Either I'm already going to have it, or I'm going to have to come out of pocket to make sure I have it.
Right. Okay. Wow. So you would, if you had to start the business all over again, would you do everything that you did the same, or would you do something a little bit different? Would you focus on a specific product first and mainly go with that? Or do you think, of course, what you've done shaped to how you are running everything now, right? But would you have changed or done anything different, or solely focused on a certain aspect? Because I know you said weddings too.
If I had to do it at the exact same time, I probably would stick to the same course. I think I did. I think I had a really good start. I think my roadmap was great. I think when I looked at it, I said, this is what I'm going to do.
Okay.
This is how I'm going to do it.
Okay.
And I stuck to it, and it actually worked.
Okay.
I went from, like I said, 40,000 my first year to 2 years later over 200K.
Wow.
And I quit my job.
Yeah.
I was making less than half of that, and just to get my time back and my effort back. Now, does that mean that I sit at home and do nothing?
Right. For
Not
sure.
at all.
Right.
But it does mean that I'm able to control my time better. I'm able to decide how I want to use my time. But then also, people don't realize too, another thing is, you have a wedding and you say, okay, I want to book you for 4 hours. Some people are like, oh, I can make $100 an hour? Cool, $400. Okay, well, I live an hour away from the city. Sometimes if I drive to the city, the events on the other side of the city. So I'm gonna spend at least an hour and a half in Atlanta traffic.
Right.
I'm gonna spend another hour going back home.
Wow.
I'm gonna spend an hour setting things up, testing things, making have things work. I'm gonna get to the event 2 hours early so I can set up, wait an hour to start, let them do their party, then I'm gonna have to break down. So a 4 hour is really about 8 hours of your time, 8-9 hours.
I understand what you're saying.
So you want to really break down into what you're actually making.
Wow.
And now you take out the stuff that you have to pay for, any parking. People forget about parking. You go to a building, they say it's $20 for parking.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Now I'm kind of stuck, and I gotta. So you didn't pay for parking. Now you got to pay for gas to get there. You have to pay for your paper, your equipment. You might have to pay for storage. You need somewhere to store it.
I was going to ask you that too.
I got 3 storages. I have one that my employees deal with solely.
Yeah.
Where they get equipment for it. They go out and take care of events. So I'm at home. They're taking care of it. I have storages that I deal with. I have a garage full of stuff. So it's one of those things where it you have a ton of stuff, and you have to realize that it's going to cost you money to make money. I think that's the biggest thing.
Yeah,
if you started without the extra money you need, everything you do is going to be hard because you don't have money to invest in yourself.
Yep.
And then as you try to look for ways, if you're not charging enough, you're never going to have the extra money to invest in yourself. Marketing is key. How you get out into the public is key. Mm-hmm. You buying a billboard, it's not even, you can get a billboard and that changes every 10 seconds. It's not that expensive.
Yeah.
But you got to have money to do it.
Correct.
You got to have money to take it. One big thing is a lot of companies, they'll do net 30s, net 45. So if you happen to, you say you're brand new and you get a company call you and be like, hey, this is Granger, and we want a photo booth and we want this big experience, we'll pay you $5K. And you're like, yes. And they're like, okay, I need you to do this, this, and this. Now you got to come out of pocket to make sure that happen. But they're gonna be like, but we're not going to pay you for 60 days after the event, though. That's how our finance department works.
I see.
So can you afford
to go without that money?
To go without money for 60 days while paying people to work and paying for things and to get the money at the long run. When I first started, I couldn't.
Right.
And that's just realistic.
Yeah, for sure.
But as you go along and you get customers and you build your bank account, you can say, okay.
Yeah.
Because you know it's coming.
Right, for sure.
But it's one of those things where you learn, like, you really got to have the money to be able to invest and to be able to put yourself where you want to be at.
So I didn't even think they had anything like that as far as like where they don't pay you till a certain amount of time afterwards. Wow. See, that's I'm telling you, I'm hoping y'all listening to what he's saying.
I mean, that's what a lot of businesses. I mean, you got cake, you got weddings, and so you never really think about all the little stuff. You have photographers at weddings. You have the people who do uplights. You have the DJs.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. I mean, they also do corporate parties and events. So no matter what you're doing, you really got to think about how do I get there? What is it going to cost me? Replacements, things like that. If someone paid me $2,000 and something doesn't work, how do I make that go on?
Right.
Do I just say, hey, I'm gonna give you your money back? Or do I have a friend I can call and say, bring yours and we're gonna make sure this happens for this customer? So it really makes a difference.
For sure. Wow. That's crazy.
That's a lot, I'm sorry.
No, it's great. It's more than what I even expected, and I like stuff like this because I'm really learning about it, right? You're the expert on it, but there's things that I didn't even thought, and I'm pretty sure when people hear this, they're gonna think like, oh, I didn't even know that was all into it. So where are you with the business now? Like, do you have other things evolving or happening with you because of that?
I think the biggest thing is you meet people. You meet different connections. So I have, DJs that I work really well and closely with.
Okay.
I have wedding planners and corporate clients who, like I said, BMW, we have a lot of people we've worked with, a lot of schools I've worked with, UGA, and it's a lot of times we've been able just to take those relationships and build them and keep kind of moving them out towards the next event or someone else's event.
Okay.
And I've even worked with some of the software companies. So I've created a relationship where I actually do a lot of support for one of the softwares, and we make sure that, 24/7 support. I make sure that you can make it through those events. I make sure that you can be successful, whether you're doing a 360 or a photo booth. It can be as cheap as, like I said, even though you start cheap, the problem is you're going to learn really quickly. You're going to need more.
Absolutely.
People call me like, I just bought some GoPros. You're going to buy another one too. They're like, huh? I'm being real with you.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's the connections about it. And it leads to other streams of income. It leads to being able to do more things. So, it's not going to be just so you're static in one area.
Yeah.
I love this photo booth thing. I love it because I love the people and what they do.
So,
but I want to do more. I want to do other stuff. I have some other ideas for some envisionments and, get the money to the right place where you can invest in that and go to the next one. Yeah.
So you, right now, are you doing any, like, what you should, I don't know if you thought about it, but are you doing any, like, coaching or teaching people on how to do that?
I don't, and the main reason is, like I said, I work with a software company.
Got it.
And I do it, but I do it as part of a company. So we pretty much ensure that if you want to use your photo booths or your 360s, we teach you. We show you how to build that. Now we're not giving you brick by brick, but we're gonna give you a lot of those bricks. We're gonna give you as much as you need because most of the people who are working with us are booth company or owners. So we're able to say, we've done this, so this is how you do it, like I'm doing today.
Absolutely.
A lot of people have told me, I think it's about having a vision. And myself, like someone said before, it was like, you should make an ebook when I first started 360. It's like, make an ebook, charge like this much for it. I'm really hard on giving out information for free or nothing.
Yeah, I understand.
So if it's not like this much money, I don't want this much times 1,000.
Right.
But people don't realize it's that much. Looking back, some people have done this. Some people have charged. You can charge $15, $20, and 10,000 people would have bought that, and you would have made a lot of money just off of running that. So it's the idea is that you got to have that vision. And I didn't have it.
Yeah.
But
I understand. Yeah, and it depends on the information too. Like I said, there's some things that he said that I had no idea that was even like close to that at all. I'm still trying to process. I'm still trying to process everything. So tell people where they can like find you or contact you, or if they want to go through the company or anything like that. Again, I know you said the name of the company, but like where can they like find you online and stuff like that?
Our ad is at AJR Events, EVENTS.
Okay.
And that's our Instagram. So definitely follow us. Check out some different things we have. You might need this for your next party. But if you want to learn something or kind of have any questions, definitely reach out and we can always put you in the right direction.
It's dope, man. That's wonderful. Oh, I did have one more question. One more question.
I'm good.
He's like, what? I'm good. So, and I'm going to have to put this in the beginning. So, it's dope how you said you made, after a couple of years, 2 years, you made $200K.
Right.
Right. So, was that mainly from like corporate bookings? Yeah. Okay. So, how would somebody go? What would be your best advice for them to try to at least reach out to them or get connected with that? Or that was just mainly based off of you having the weddings, those parties, networking with people, and then they're saying, hey, Charles, I need you for this, this, and this.
Yeah, don't want to give you that one.
You don't have,
It's in your marketing.
Okay, in your marketing.
You have to, I mean, I'll give you the answer. It's your marketing. So you have to first find your target. If your target is going to be companies, if your target is going to be that, you got to figure out, okay, now how do I reach that target? What do I have to do for my website or my business to be seen? Is it going to be Instagram and posting? Mm-hmm. Is it going to be hashtags? Mm-hmm. I can tell you in the last 2 years, the amount of people who've gotten into the 360 game, they screwed Google up. Like it's so much out there, from hashtags to posting. I had one point where I could tag a hotel and next week I had someone calling me. I could hashtag a hotel in the picture but I also have premium booths.
Right, for sure.
And I have mirrors that cost 15, 20K that only one or no one else has in Atlanta. So when I could tag something, they'll love it.
For sure, for sure.
But now, it's some people out there, and, I think that part of it is the younger generation. They do it better than me. I can't lie. Like, they do social media better. I'm not on social media like I was 10 years ago.
Exactly, yeah.
But that's where it also comes to hiring someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
But it's about marketing. So figure out what your market's going to be. It can be weddings, because you can make a ton of money on weddings. Mm-hmm. There are more weddings and things every day than anything else. Yeah. There's weddings on Tuesdays. There's I have an event. I have 2 tomorrow. I have one with the city down south and in the south side of Atlanta, and I have another one that is a sorority that has a party every 2 months. So every day is something. Tomorrow's a Thursday, right, and we love Thursday money. Really? Wednesday, Thursday during the week, because there's times when people are going to book you on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. So usually all week you're at home. So you like, someone want to do something on the Thursday? I'm sitting at home, of course. For sure. But you got to find that market, and you got to figure out how do you advertise to them, because every city's going to be different. Every market's going to be different. But if you say, I want companies, well, what are you going to do as far as companies? A lot of people come in and they ask for trials, and they want they want to market a video. Well, what are you giving them? I'll be honest. I pay for. When I first started, I had a company that gave me high quality pictures and videos. Mm-hmm. Are they of stuff I have? Of course. Mm-hmm. But they're high quality. They're stuff that's going to stand out. It's like this wall right here. This wall is going to stand out. Mm-hmm. If I did it in front of a regular kitchen wall and put my booth there, it's going to look different. Yeah, for sure. So you have to have the right content that's going to catch people's attention. You have to have the right item that's going to catch your attention, because maybe the one that I have, like, so there's one social booth that it's going to be okay. So it's has a light and a screen. Mm-hmm. Take pictures, gifts. It's a fun thing. People have a ball with all day long. Yeah. I have a new one that has a screen on the bottom. So now I can put a company's logo on there. So I did the event for McDonald's. Dang. I'm gonna just show you real quick, if you don't mind. You guys, man. I probably have, if I had to guess, 60 to 100,000 in photo booths. Wow. If I had to guess. So like, this is the one I just did for McDonald's, but you can market the top and the bottom. Oh, I see it. Yeah. And so it's moving. So it's an animation. So it had McDonald's coming in and out of it, and that was a full event that we did for them for 7 hours. Wow. And but then again, it's other stuff. Like, I did this for 1,800. I did a custom enclosure for a 360. So they wanted the 1,800, wanted the fully rounded. It was a gold room. And wow. They brought me in and said, I want a full custom. this person had a birthday party. She wanted her picture all around 360. Generally, we don't do that, but if you have an extra $1,000 to spend and you want to custom
Do it, yeah.
we can do it. So, but it's finding your market. Once you find your market, you'll figure out what you need to do to target that market. Whether it's Instagram posts, whether it's videos, whether it's paid ads, whether it's putting your website out there.
Yeah.
So whatever you need to do, that's what you have to focus. But anything you're going to do is probably not going to be instant. That's the problem. Most things take time.
Yep.
Google takes time to read. Google is very smart. Google will know if you're trying to play the system.
For sure.
You know, the more pictures you upload online, the more Google says you're a real company. If you go on there and dump 2,000 pictures, they're going to say, oh, you're just trying to make you see your real company.
Right away.
But they actually drop your ratings, and now you're negative. So where you could have went up for posting 5 pictures a day, you posted 200. So now you're under there. And so now when you search your name, you're going to see less of you because they now don't trust you. And Google does this every day, but they also change their algorithm every day. So you have to, again, either know this and know what the algorithm is now, or you have to pay someone. And,
For sure.
And I actually even have I have a friend who does that. But you know, knowing that, I mean, that's a whole nother cost by itself. That could be, you know, it's companies out there that's paying $1,000 to $10,000 to $100,000 a month just to see how Google sees you. Because how Google sees you is how you gonna make your money.
I told you, man, you need to have some like coaching or course or something.
I mean, hey, it might be in the future.
Because you really spitting some game. But no, dude, I appreciate you
No problem.
a lot, man. That was
But again,
I'm literally blown away
it's
right
not
now.
just photo booths though. I mean, it's anything. Like I've learned that if I wanted to go start another business, that anything is possible. I thought about food trucks, you know, and it's just about putting that plan together. And
sure.
you hear people say it, and the question is always, I want to do this. How do I do it? And the first person I see in groups, they go, "What's your business plan?" Say,
Yes.
and they be like, "Wait,
Yes.
I want to buy a photo booth and I want to do parties."
I just want to do it.
What does your business plan say? Well, I never made one.
Yep.
Well, back up some.
For sure.
I made one. What's funny was I made one, but I didn't make one about two and a half years ago. I made it after I quit my job. I sat down and said, or maybe before, I was like, in order for this to work, I need to know it's realistic. And I need to know what my plans are. So I sat down and said, this is what I make now, and how can I do this? So I could tell you that I've averaged over my last few years 12 to 15 a month. Wow. So, but you have to put that plan in place and you have to stick to it. You're going to have good months and bad months. You're going to have good years and bad years.
Yeah.
But if you know the path for it.
Yeah.
And trust me, it's people making more than that.
But that's great though, man.
Right.
Wow.